saw Darksiders at E3, a glimpse of it. What has changed since then?
So one thing we didn't show then that we're showing now is Ruin. He's War's horse. War is one of the horsemen of the apocalypse, so he has to have a very cool horse, obviously. There's still a lot of combat moves that you could do on the horse that we're not showing yet, but we wanted to show people so that they can start getting excited about the fact that there is more exploration. It's not just combat. You know, you're not locked in little rooms with combat. There's a big world, and you're exploring it on foot, on horseback, and you're fighting on horseback. So there's a lot more to the game than a lot of usually what you find in a lot of these types of games. The horse affects the gameplay in several ways. You know, one basic way is, you know, some parts of the world are pretty large, and obviously riding the horse at super speeds, you get around quite a bit faster. But some of the other ways are, you know, there are parts of the world you can't even go to on foot. You don't have the speed to escape some of the creatures there, or they might simply just destroy you. So there's parts of the game you can't go on without the horse. So it unlocks new areas of the game for you. And lastly, you know, in combat, when you're on horseback, you are way more powerful. You can take out a lot of enemies a lot easier. War's pretty powerful against one-on-one or a few handful of enemies. But with the horse, you can take out the biggest creatures in the game, as well as just, you know, just a street full of 30 guys. That would probably be very difficult. You could just trample them on your horse. We have some pretty big enemies. We're fans of giant monsters. Somebody asked, wow, you have so many bosses. And the funny thing is, a lot of these creatures aren't even bosses. They're just our regular creatures. Our bosses are huge.
Can you tell us a little bit about the comic book background of the game?
I'm the creative director on the game, and I came from comics. And early on, we decided that we didn't want it to feel like a dark horror game. We wanted it to feel more like an adventure or you know, a comic book. It appeals to more people. It's more fun. And we didn't want to go too realistic with it. You know, we wanted to have very stylized action. And so I think the comic book thing lends itself pretty well. People that know my work know sort of like the style that we're going for. There is a lot of drama, there's a lot of epic action, but we didn't want it to get too gory or horrific like a horror game. It really is an adventure.
What kind of players will enjoy Darksiders?
If you love action, we have incredible over-the-top action, but also, you know, the adventure aspect I think is really huge. Because sometimes it's fun to get a break from the combat and just, you know, say, hey, what's down that street? What's inside this building? We want people to explore. So, you know, I think that will hit quite a wide audience with this game.
What are your favorite features of the game?
I love riding the horse. I think I never get tired of doing it. Even just running around in circles feels pretty good. And that's one thing I was very excited about early on. And I'm pretty proud of the creature design. People seem to react pretty well to it. It's one thing I love too, just seeing all these creatures come to life. You know, they start out as a drawing, and seeing them moving around and screaming and, you know, coming to life is just gets me excited every day. Darksiders, the first game, is single player only. It'll be out on the 360 and PS3 early next year, first quarter next year.
Will there be much tits and ass in the game?
Yes, we're working on it. But some of them might be, you know, scary demons, so it might not look so great. That depends what you're into.